Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Generation Y. Before the break, we were talking about influences, that influence people like friends, family, parents, etc. I'd like to start off by firstly talking about something which the viewers might find funny, is makeup. A lot of girls these days are influenced by makeup artists and different things. Like you might hear some girl talking about, I don't know, contouring. As funny as it sounds coming from me, might talk about contouring, for example, and like now every single girl does it. Why do they do it? Due to influence, probably. It's a big influence in makeup on girls these days, young girls. Do you think it's going to have a positive influence on them or a negative influence on them?
I think it's all through social media. So all, like before we're talking about social media effects and influences for girls, I think social media is a big impact. You know, there's loads of celebrities, loads of models on there which they follow. And these days everywhere you see a lot of makeup artists, even billboards, all these makeup brands, all these makeup advertising. I think that's the main influence for them.
You see on like YouTube's most top views, and you see these makeup artists just randomly put makeup. And you know what? These makeup artists aren't even girls, they're boys. I've seen a lot of boys, and it makes me laugh. Like guys, they're doing all this filling in their eyebrows and whatnot, and it's really funny. It's a bit scary that guys are now going into the fact that they're wearing makeup.
Yeah, it's just like us lot, just 16, 17-year-olds, we're influenced by fashion and sport and football, and just like that, girls are going to be influenced by stuff like makeup and whatever they see on social media that interests them.
Yeah, people. A lot of girls and women are quite obsessed with, becoming a makeup artist or like, following makeup artists. So like, I've heard the name Huda Beauty quite a bit, and she's got quite a big following on Instagram and just worldwide generally. And she's grown a lot in the last couple of years, and that's because of her following, and that's because she's become a lot more popular with a lot of girls, and her makeup brand's increased.
Like you just makeup, mentioned that girls want to become makeup artists. Yeah. That's a big influence of what people want to become. For example, like now parents are saying they want the kid to become a doctor, for example. Every Asian parent wants their son to be, son or daughter, doctor bun. So it's like they want to become a doctor. So that's a big influence. And what a person's, like for example, like you got aspirations you want to fulfill, like you want to go to uni and stuff like that. You've got that because of what your parents have taught you, and only till recently you've started to think that, oh yeah, I want to do this. And it's at that stage where you think, for example, some people have this influence before, and they realize later, for example, say they want to study, their parents want them to become a dentist, for example. They realize that, oh wait, to become a dentist you have to study chemistry, biology, for example, and say maths A level. You get 3 A levels. They have to be A grades to get into uni, for example. I'm just giving an example. And that they've realised that they can't do that. They don't really like chemistry. They don't like biology and maths. They find it really hard, so they've got to get rid of the subject. And it's too late for them to realise that, oh wait, yeah, it is late for us that we've chosen these A levels and they're not going to benefit us because we don't want to become a dentist, for example. So do you think that job-wise that you should choose what you want to do, or should you take other people's opinions on it?
I think your parents do have a good influence on you, because from a young age they're always trying to support you, get good grades, get a good job and earn good money. And obviously that's in their minds that's become an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer. And it is understanding, because obviously your parents want what's best for you and they think that's best for you, but up till about 15 I think they really should encourage you to get good grades, and obviously throughout your lifetime. After that I really think that they should let the child choose what subjects they want to do, because that's where they're going to excel and that's where they're going to do the best.
Yeah, I think sometimes it can become a negative influence as well, because like we were saying before, makeup, you don't need no degree for that, you don't need no qualification, you just need a bit of training. And that's where most people will obviously drop out of school. They're not bothered about education because they know they can make money other ways. And therefore, education is just nothing for them.
Do you think that's due to parenting, or would you just say it's just...
I think it's their own choice. Obviously parents want the good in all of us. They want us to do well, they want us to, like you said before, become doctors, become dentists, but at the end of the day I think it's people's own choice about going into a different line and not educating themselves.
I feel like your parents want nothing but the best for you, and you'd be really stupid not to take their advice. But sometimes like Bilal said, you know, it's only up until recently that, you know, you realize what you want to do as a person. Like, you might have seen something, or you might have seen someone else do something and they're successful at it, and you're like, oh, that's a really good way of going at it. And it's at that point when you're around like 16, 17 or even 18 that you kind of realize that instead of, you know, like, you want to switch lanes and go a different way rather than the conventional, you know, the way that your parents want to go, you might want to switch it up and go a different way. And, you know, you can still be successful that way, and that's where, you know, your parents' influence is really important, because, you know, they play a really big part in it.
But you know, like now you've mentioned that you're taking your parents' advice. Say your parent advises you and says become a doctor, for example, typical example. But you don't want to become a doctor. You don't feel like listen to people. Say they want you to become a GP, and you don't listen to people's problems coming every day. Oh yeah, I've got this issue with my leg, got this issue with my head, got this issue, I'm stressed, this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, definitely.
And you don't want to hear people's problems and stuff like that. Because say some people get psychologically affected by listening to people's problems, and they end up getting stressed and they feel weak themselves. And say they want to become something else, like, I don't know, a teacher, say, and the parents don't agree with it. Don't you think that they should be happy enough that they are willing to go for a degree? And that too, being a teacher is a respectful job at the end of the day. It's a very respectful job. The fact that you're teaching others, and if you look at it in the Islamic perspective, you're educating others, and you get reward for it at the end of the day, no matter what happens. So it is a good job at the end of the day. So it is not being disrespectful, it's just that they're choosing what they want to do for their life. At the end of the day, it is their life, but they don't want to be disrespectful. What would the person do in that situation?
I feel like that person just should be quite honest and like quite, you know, straight up with their parent, and just, you know, not disregarding everything that they say, but you should be quite respectful and be honest with them at the fact that, you know, you should appreciate, you know, their guidance over the last, you know, whatever, like 20 years of your life, and you should, 18 years of your life, and you should be really grateful for that. But you should, you know, try and tell them that you know, that you found a different way of going at it, and, you know, I'm not trying to bring any shame to you or anything, but, you know, I'm still going down a respectful path.
It's like saying where you say like parents' influence and the relationship they have with the kid, the teenager, that it is a key factor and it's a big thing. Like now, say your parents got a bad relationship with you, they don't try talking to you, they don't try speaking to you, you're going to feel that cold relationship there, and you're not going to talk to them, ask them for advice. That's a disadvantage, because at the end of the day, who's going to want better for you? Yeah, you'll have a few friends, but at the end of the day, you learn in life that so you on your own. I'm not saying that your friends aren't trustworthy. Like, you'll have good friends, I'm not saying you won't, but at the end of the day, it's every man for himself, like they say, that's the saying. So your parents give birth, they're your parents at the end of the day, basically. So they're gonna want good for you. So they should have that relationship there with you to say, yeah, that way you're able to sit down, you can talk about open things like anything, for example, even if it's topics that people would think that, oh, it's a bit touchy, that, but you can talk to your parents about it, because at the end of the day, you are going to question certain things, you are going to ask certain things. Like now, growing up as a teenager, you're going to have different changes, and you're going to be new to it, and you're not going to think, like, for example, you're growing a beard, you think, why is his hair coming out my face? What's going on here? If you don't know about it, yeah, they educate you in school, but at the end of the day, you want to be educated the right way, the Islamic way, and you want to know. So your parents should have the knowledge on that. Look it up, for example, if they don't, ask an Islamic scholar on it, etc., and be able to educate you on it, or get the scholar to speak to you on it, so you go about it the right way, and that they can ask you on things like different things and stuff like that. And I think it's a big thing that they should have an open relationship with you, where you can discuss things. Mum and dad, at the end of the day, you're half mum and dad.
Yeah, it's having that open relationship, as you said. If you've got open-minded parents, then it's really easy to talk to them and discuss with them what you want to do with your life. Obviously, with a lot of parents, they see other family members are going to see that my son's got a degree in engineering or a degree as a doctor, and that's what they want, but they don't realise that that's going to have a negative effect on their child, because their child's not going to want to do that. So I really think it's important to have the relationship, because then the child can make the parent understand that maybe this is not what I want to do. Yeah, it might look good from the outside, but on the inside I won't be happy.
But shouldn't your parents be there to help you? For example, say they want you to become a doctor again, and you want to become an engineer, let's say. they shouldn't just leave you stranded to become an engineer on your own back. They should help you. At the end of the day, like an engineer is a good job. It's a very good job. Like you hear people saying, I'm a civil engineer. It's an excellent job.
Yeah, no,
respectful job.
yeah.
So parents, I personally think, should help them. Whatever it is. At the end of the day, there's people out there, for example, doing things they shouldn't be doing, like selling stuff. Like, let's say drug dealers out and about. And day after day, the number of drug dealers is increasing. It's not something that you can shy away from. The statistics clearly show it. The number of people getting locked up is a lot higher for selling drugs. And it's like they've got so much, like, you know, like
impact.
It's such a bad impact. It's going to impact the rest of them. A lot of teenagers these days have got a lot of energy in them, a lot of enthusiasm, and they can go work. Like, for example, say they're working at a restaurant, let's say, and the restaurant's showing them disrespect. They're not going to work. They're thinking, I'm working really hard for you.
Yeah, they
you
don't
show them
wanna
disrespect. You've got the owners, you've got stuff like that giving you disrespect. You're going to think to yourself, wait, I'm working for you. I'm doing the best of work. Why should I do this when I can be selling stuff, making money, and I'm making big money, I'm making more than what I'm making here, and that too, I don't have to run around and get treated like I'm rubbish at the end of the day. So I think employers, it's a big responsibility on them as well at the end of the day. And the fact that if they're Muslim, for example, it is it's not a good thing, because they know that treating another person with respect is a big thing. Whether they make a mistake or not, it's understandable people make mistakes, but you're human at the end of the day. You are going to make mistakes. It's life. Life's about mistakes. Otherwise, we'd all be in paradise.
Yeah, you have to learn from that.
Yeah, exactly. It's the way you learn from it. And okay, if they repeat the mistake, repeat it, then sit down, speak to them, this and that, but you don't go about in it and you start swearing at them, cussing them, going to family members and stuff. It's a bit petty, that, and it's not good, and it leads to other things aggravating, and it's not good, especially nowadays that the youth are in. They're very hot-tempered and they're hot-minded and they won't take things.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said before, the parents should help you every step of the way, not compare you with anyone else. Obviously, you should tell them everything. You should be open-minded with them. Obviously, your parents are there for you to, you know. I think the best people to take advice from is your parents. Obviously, they've been through the experience themselves. They know what it's like. They know what it's like growing up to be a teenager, and you know, beyond going to uni, etc. And therefore, you know, your parents should be your first point of advice, and you should listen to and, you know, take steps from it, definitely.
But do you not feel like parents, like a lot of our parents, they've come from another country and they've come here, they haven't really grown up here, they've just come here and they have just kept themselves to themselves, but we've grown up in this country, and obviously we've seen a lot of different things, and we've grown up in a completely different way to them, and that's when it's kind of hard to have that relationship with your parents and try to talk about things, because most of the time they won't know what you're on about.
Yeah, like you can't relate to them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why it's become a two-way thing, that obviously some parents are from back home, and therefore you can't get a full advice because they haven't lived a life here. But obviously, like young people who are getting married today, you know, you see 18, 19 years old getting married, and I think they've lived here, they've been through everything, and obviously their children, they can give the proper advice to their children about, you know, next steps in life compared to people from back home.
I think a big thing parents need to realise is that, for example, some parents might talk about, for example, in the 1980s life was like this, or the 1970s life was like this, but you got to remember that this is 2017, it was 30 years, 40 years. After 10 years, look at 10 years, if you look at pictures from 10 years ago and look at them now, for example, you'll think, whoa, when I was 6 years old, I look different. When I was 7 years old, and now I'm 17, I look at myself and think, whoa, I'm changed. I know. It's like that, times have changed. I think parents that aren't outgoing and aren't at home and don't realise what's going on out there, just think that, oh, everything's okay and stuff like that, and that don't realise that the relationship with the parents is a big thing. Because if you don't have that open relationship, and the generations are getting worse each time, each generation is getting worse, and they're going to ask their so-called peer or friend for advice, they give them the wrong advice. And now I say come to a doctor and they say to me, or I'm asking them, I'm stressed, they'll give you stress pills. If you say to you, one of your mates, oh, I'm stressed, and they're addicted, for example, say like some type of drug, like, oh yeah, take this, it'll de-stress you, you'll be all happy and stuff. You'll think, whoa, I'll be happy, I want to be happy, I want to be on that vibe, and you'll take those drugs and it'll affect you. Or like, you might have that bit of buzz, but it's not a good buzz, it's a crap buzz, and you say it's not something good, it's not something fun. So you need to have that. It's like it takes you back to that parents' relationship. You need to have that relationship. And I think parents need to realise, especially nowadays, the way people are have changed. It's not the same. And I'm talking about that from experience. I've seen people good people turn to bad people and bad people to turn good people. I'm not saying that I'm cussing people. I'm saying times have changed and that we need to realize and take we need to have an influence in our kids, teenagers' lives, and even encourage them to do good things and not just sit there quiet. To ask them how the day was, what was going on. Even if they're reserved, try doing that. Try speaking to them, and even open up to them. Try talking to them. It's a big thing. And once you have that relationship, it's going to be great for you. You'll have them on your side. I'm not saying they're against you. They're not going to go out and shoot you or something. They're not against you. They're on your side. Is you need to have this relationship and unlock many doors.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
You know, the industry and the world is growing so quickly. All this technology and everything. I think parents, they need to learn to obviously there's a lot of parents that everyone's got phones, everyone's got social media, but there's kids being influenced by social media. I think parents need to take a hold on that, what effect social media can have and all the technology and everything like this, because if they understand what's going on in the world, just like the kids do, then they'll be able to have better conversations with them and talk to them about more different things.
Yeah, like I said before, if you have that, that relationship with your parents, later on you can give that down, to your kids as well, how to raise your own kids as well, and also with your friends as well. When you get older, you can have that relationship with your friends, just like you are with your parents, give advice to each other about certain things. And you can just get advice from everywhere.
But it is really hard to make that relationship, do you know what I mean? It is really difficult. Yeah. It does take time, it takes quite a bit of time, and some people aren't willing to wait for that relationship and then they give up on it, which is quite sad because you've put in quite a lot of effort into it to make it work, but it doesn't work out and you're left quite speechless and quite, without someone to relate to or someone to talk to. It
has to work from both sides, doesn't it? It can't just be the parent doing everything and the kid's not interested in it. Obviously the relationship's not going to work, but if they're both really trying to get to know each other and trying to have a good impact on each other's lives, I think it really would work.
Definitely.
What do you think should make the first move today? Let's say you've got this parent and this child and they've got an open relationship. Personally, I think the parents should make the first move, but what's your views on that?
I definitely agree with that, because it's really hard for the kid to make that move because they're younger, so their life experience is a lot less and the parents' life experience is a lot more. That's why they know better than us, so it should be them making the first move, I think, anyway.
Definitely should be the parents, because if you don't build a relationship from a young age, then the child is not going to have the relationship all the way through their life, and by the time they're a teenager, they won't want to know their parents.
It's too late.
It's like now you say when you're studying, for example, you're studying and you got a good relationship with your parents, they're going to know what's going on. For example, say you're not doing well and say you're studying chemistry and you've got a teacher that's not good, and you're going through chemistry and the teacher's not good, and you come home, you're stressed, I've not done well in my exam, or I'm not doing well in a certain subject, chemistry, and I want to do well in it and I don't know what to do. And you don't have that open relationship with your parent, you're not going to be able to tell them. But if you have that open relationship with them, you'll be able to tell them before the issue kicks in, where you're at that stage where you get exams around the corner, you've got to do all this revision and you're stressed out. It's at that point where you're able to tell them that, I'm worried about my exam, I need some help, and they can put things into place like tutors, help you. Even if your parents are a teacher, they can help you, help you build these revision notes, help you revise. And at the end of the day, it's going to benefit you, and your parents need to realise that having this open relationship is going to open many doors, and there'll be open doors that you won't even think are going to open, and it'll be a big thing, and it'll even help your grandkids at the end of the day, because the way you are towards your child is the way you will be towards your child will be towards them. And sometimes people want their parents to be a certain way they'd want them to be. I'm not saying that, for example, if your child wants to say, I want to go out clubbing till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, that you should go let them. But you should, now say you come home and you say to your mum, I want to go clubbing, your mum should sit down and advise you, not flip on you, say, no, you're not going clubbing, I'm going to beat you up, this and that, I'm going to get the done now. She should be saying to you, clubbing isn't right, explain to you why is haram, stuff like that, and talk to you like that. Obviously, if you're going to think, no, I'm not going to listen, then speak to him in a bit, I'm not saying harsh way, but in a bit more of a firmer way. It's like that, you build up in stages, you don't just go and say, no, you're not going, and just get all aggressive. It's the way you come across, and I think that...
No, but some parents, they get, it's not even a big issue like clubbing. Sometimes they get quite, not aggressive, but like you said, firm about, small things like, say you say that you're going to come home at 8, you end up coming home at 9, 10 even. I understand that is a big thing, you have kind of lied in a way, or like, but you know, there are things that aren't in your control, that you've come a bit later, and I understand that, but you know, sometimes they should be grateful that you haven't come even later than that, say 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They should be really grateful for things like that, because there are other kids out there who do come really later than that.
Sometimes, like, say you're going to say to your mum, I'm going to come home at 9 o'clock, but say something pops up where, say you're going to see someone and you sit on the back for 9 o'clock, but the conversation's talked a bit more and it's got a bit more, you're not going to say to that person, get lost, I'm going home. Yeah, you say to them that I want to go, but if they're still talking at the end of the day, just finish that conversation off, don't leave it in a bad note, and then go home, explain to your mum. Your mum shouldn't flip out on you and say to you, where are you, get home, this and that. What she should ask is, is everything okay, seeing you come home at 9 o'clock? And it's going to build that open relationship. They think, oh, you know what, they've not got angry at me, they've accepted to me, oh, where are you, is everything okay?
And you can relate
you build that relationship, Bilal, you got anything to build on that?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you decide to become a parent, that you want to have a kid, it's like a responsibility that you're going to have to take. You know that child's not going to listen to everything that you say, and you've got to learn to be able to step into their shoes and understand what they're going through. Like we were saying before, parents are not having that relationship with their children because they haven't got the same interests. But as a parent, you've got the responsibility to try and talk to your kids and be interested in the things that they're interested in.
Definitely, you know, you should really, you know, your parents should definitely take an interest in, like, you know, what your hobbies are, like what you like to do and stuff, and you know, not exactly, you know, grill you about it, but you know, they should try and take an interest in it. Say, like, if you're going football, you know what I mean, and you like going to play a bit of football with your friends, like for an hour or two, you know, wherever, you know, in a field, you know, or at you know, one of them leisure centres or whatever, you know, if you want to go play there or whatever, and you play for a couple hours, you know, they should take an interest and be like, oh, shall I go drop you off, or shall I come pick you up? You know, things like that.
It's like now, say your child's into football, for example, and want to play football all the time, but your parents like sick of it, they're, oh, why I've got to take him to this football, I've got to take him to this training. At the end of the day, football, to want to play football, you've got to train on certain days, and you go to your match on Sunday, and it's like that, and you've got to travel different distances, this and that. It is a pain in the backside, but at the end of the day, your parents need to realise that it's better than going to play football. A, is good for them, so Islamically they're looking after their body. B, it's a good environment. Okay, you might hear some things here and there in football, but it's going to be everywhere, you can't avoid it, but it's better than some places. But like now, say you put them off it and you're always moaning about it, and it's like, and I guess that's where the child thinks, oh, fine, forget it, we'll go football anymore. And then your parents thinking, oh yeah, I don't have to do this, don't have that responsibility. The parents are thinking in the back of their mind that they've got less responsibility, but it's going to get worse for them. It's going to get a lot worse, because they're going to think, all right, I couldn't do that, and see something else that they find interesting, and say one day they go into the wrong crowd, and they feel that, oh, they find something that's not good, interesting, oh yeah, and they start doing that. Your parents can have even more regret that they've fallen in love with something else, like, I don't know, say something drug related. They're going to be worried, and it's going to have an effect. Whereas if they play football and they took on that bit of stress to take them, drop them off that extra effort, at least your child, your son or daughter, isn't going to be in that
they're doing something better.
Yeah, they'll be doing something better. Okay, you've got to go out your way a bit, but then you're doing it for your child, you're going to get a reward.
But it's their responsibility to, you know,
they have to fulfill their duties to do, you know, they'll have to take their children to a place like football. Obviously, if they want to fulfill their duties with their child, then
and if you're not going to do that, then why did you have the child? What's the point? If you're not going to raise them right, if you're not going to do the things that they want to do.
Yeah, that's why, like Bilal said, you know, you have to be ready for that responsibility, or there's no point, you know, having a kid.
It's like, sorry guys, come to an end, sorry to cut you off. Unfortunately, we've come to an end. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I'd like to thank Talha and Bilal and Daud for coming on with me and talking about this interesting topic. We will be back next week, inshallah, same time, same place on IQRA TV. I'd like to thank you, dear viewers, for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.